everybody. Good morning. Let me set my timer. Let me respect your time. So my name is Shantavious Brown. I go by Tay, also known as Coach Tay. I'm a proud owner of Helen's Butterfly, one of the best kept secrets that y'all just now hearing about. Because let me tell you, like she said, I've been sitting on it for 2 years. 2 years. Have you established an LLC? It took 2 years to launch it. Y'all can relate, we can relate. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. I still have not officially launched yet. This is a stepping stone. So, what do I do a little bit about me? Well, first off, you guys are probably wondering, why Helen's Butterfly? That's not her name. Well, let me be honest with you, because if you look at the page, my beginning, what I'm going to talk about is the journey to rediscovery. Because we go through this thing called life, and life has a way of letting you mess around and find out. You find out, don't you? And if you guys are like me, especially as women, if you're a mom, even if you're a dad, right? As you grow and develop, you have children, new identities arise constantly. The occupations you choose, the career path, entrepreneurship, you can become a person of many hats. And in that, you can lose that very essence of who you are. But if you were like me, that started years ago. Years ago, you were fragmented and broken and on this journey to discovery, waiting for somebody to give you permission to be who you are at your core. Anybody identify with that? All right, I'm on to something. All right, so why did I name my company Helen's Butterfly? Why is this important? Because it's part of my journey. My mother's name is Helen. I was born to a teen mom who is still battling her past, who is still battling her adversity, who is still battling the abuse that she experienced from a very young age. Now, respectfully, the Bible says, honor your father and mother. And I did not have the kind of childhood that I think I would be able to honor her by. And just in case I never got to see her again because of the lifestyle that she lived, you kind of never knew where she was, nobody knew how to reach her, we just never knew. And so I said, you know what, God, I'm gonna honor her that way. I'm gonna name my business after her. And why butterfly? Because it's her favorite insect. She has butterflies tattooed on her. I always noticed that as a child. But more importantly, the Lord had revealed to me the significance of a butterfly and how it correlates to the human development. So I don't know much about you guys, but when I was researching some things, I learned something about butterflies. And I want y'all to be honest. Let's be honest. How many of you guys knew that not every butterfly makes it out of the cocoon? Raise your hand if you knew that. Not that many. See, growing up in school, when we learn about butterflies, we just assume they all make it out of that cocoon. And I was flabbergasted. When I read, I was like, whoa, they don't make it? What? They get stuck in there? Some of them just deteriorate and die. They never had a chance. And so my background is in psychology. That's where I have my degree. So I studied human development. And then not just me, but I was like, oh, well, they go through similar life cycles as we do. Right there, larvae, they go through the egg stage. Well, why don't we're eggs. We start there, right? Then there are larvae, they're little worms, and what do we do as infants? We wiggling around before. We do the same thing. You know, we take in the stimulus, we learn our environments, we explore, we eat things. Same with the butterfly. Eventually, they become like little teenagers. They become little people, they get ready. You know, for us, it's around like teenage years where we're getting ready to become adults, or we should be ready. But the things that we don't often pay attention to is from that egg stage and that larval stage, the things we consume in our bellies, in our environments. And when I say consume, can anybody give me your 5 senses for me? Let's go. I'll pick this table over here. Give me one. Okay, we got sight, hearing, smell, taste and touch. That's how we consume things. And depending on what you consume, like Priscilla talked about, can be toxic. It can be toxic, but some things in life don't make a full manifestation of how toxic they are until we're adults, or until we're in that cocoon and we never make it out. So that's behind my go-go. That's a little bit of my story and my branding. And before I get more into what I have for you guys, I just want you guys, especially entrepreneurs, I want you guys to think about why you chose to take the path that you chose. Because I'm pretty sure there's something that's tugging at you that you feel like something's calling you, you're so passionate about. You don't shake it. No matter what's going on in life, no matter how chaotic things get, there is something that you always sort of kind of default to, even though everything else is like bombarding you for making it happen. I want you to think, even if you're not an entrepreneur, but this is what I walk my clients through, because it has to do with legacy, it has to do with purpose, because I'm a firm believer, just as unique as our fingerprints are, that we all have a unique, divine, God-given purpose. We're all here for a reason. So, one question that I wanted to ask that you guys will also answer later. Just contemplate among yourselves. If money was not the issue, if circumstances were not an issue, if you had the option to do something all day long, what would you do? What would you be doing if Mr. Bills and Utilities wasn't knocking on your door tomorrow morning? What would you do? What would you just wake up and be content with? Because when life happens to us, we forget that one vital question I don't even think teachers ask anymore. What do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know if they ask that anymore. I haven't heard of it. When I was a child, first day of school, what do you want to be when you grow up? As adults, it's a non-existent question. But it's so in us because we battle against it. We have this thing in us that's tugging us this direction, but we're so bombarded by the trauma, we're so bombarded by our lack of boundaries, our lack of self-respect, our ignorance of who we are, because from a child, we've subscribed to an identity that somebody else gave us. That when we go to school, a teacher probably told us, you're dumb. You don't know how to read, you're never gonna learn how to read. Oh, and that just stays with us. And then, you go and have children, and that's what you tell your children. It happened for me. Why would it happen for you? Oh, you think somebody's gonna buy your little book? Oh, that's cute. We reproduce our environments. We don't take the intentionality about our lives and look about our purpose. Look at the world that we're in today. That's why there's so many things going on in this world, because people are not living intentionally. There's no purpose in families anymore. We have completely jumped the gun. So part of what I do is I help restore families by starting with the individual, by bringing you back to yourself, right? And that's one of my points, the journey to self-acceptance. So for me to get to this point, right, because it's a lot of shame, it's a lot of guilt that goes on, but what we fail to read in the Bible, or we pass over, is some things don't just happen to us, guys. They happen for us. I think I can say it again, I felt like somebody had a breakthrough. So things don't just happen to us, they happen for us. Yes, it was a conviction out there. My daughter, she's 11, she asked me, who's your favorite person in the Bible? You know what I tell her? Anybody want to guess? That's my daughter's name, but it's not Ruth, it's Joseph. I identify the most with Joseph. Why? Oh yeah, he was sold into slavery. And people don't understand, if anybody had any reason to not be who God called him to be, it was Joseph. Can you imagine being a child, being favored by your father, which you were born into a family that you did not contribute to any of the trauma, because Jacob's uncle was trifling. The whole thing, the whole situation was just trifling. He goes on and he has all these baby moms. He got all these children he don't care about. He didn't really get the chance to care about them because they were so trifling. And then you finally get your promised children by, and boy, Joseph just got all this money. Can you imagine all the dreams he had? He didn't want to hurt nobody. Well, people, I read something the other day that was talking about, they were so in a victim mindset that they didn't understand, like when he said, the stars will bow down to me, my dreams, they didn't even realize he called you stars. He didn't degrade you at all. But we look at the wrong things, we get fixated on the wrong things, and that's programming. So again, it brings me to what I'm thinking about. So in order to have the life you want to have, you gotta make these shifts. You gotta make these shifts. From being a victim to a survivor, and from having a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, because many of us do not understand there is a difference. What a fixed mindset is, and this is the thing that people like to bypass. You can be a victim and have a victim mindset in different areas of your life while you're excelling in others. It is not a one-size-fits-all. Okay, and same with a growth mindset, right? And entrepreneurs, the same thing. A victim mindset is also embodied by a scarcity mindset. A lot of you guys might be sitting on books, movies, stage plays, t-shirts, businesses, boutiques, because you think there's too much competition, because you don't think there's enough of the pie. Oh, somebody's not going to want to buy my stuff because there's already stuff out there like that. But there's not you. Jesus said he came that we can have life and life abundantly. He says there's abundance. There's enough for everybody. That's why we're all here for such a time as this. I could have been born in the 70s, 60s, because that's why I resonate with the most. You know, but God put me here for this time, and I'm gonna believe he has a purpose for that. I'm a firm believer in that. Right? And that comes back to our unique fingerprint. I touched on that. So what you guys see me doing today, it's been a long time coming. Long time coming. I have to own everything that I did. Everything. Would y'all believe, for me telling you guys and speaking to you today, that the first time I tried to kill myself, I was 8? It's probably hard to believe, but that's part of my story. But I'm not the only one that has left that for them. But why? Because I didn't know what my purpose was, because of the abuse, because of all the things were trying to convince me that I didn't have one. But I'm here to tell all of y'all and everybody else that I work with, you have one, and I hope you pull it out. That's the difference between me and psychologists. I don't have the answers for you because you're not broken, you don't need to be fixed. What you need to do is uncover the core, just like this apple tree, just like a seed. How do you know what kind of tree or plant you're gonna get? You gotta plant it. It's already there. It never stopped being an apple seed. It never stopped. It's already there, it's in the DNA, so I help people get back to that. And so some things that I recommend you guys all do is you need to accept and redefine the past as to what happened for you, because that's what it is, what happened for you. That's where movies are made, that's where books are made, that's how life is made, that's how nonprofits are established, that's how children are saved, that's how communities change. It's second stuff, y'all. We're gonna do this. You gotta forgive yourself and you gotta forgive others. If you're gonna accept yourself for who you are and own your fingerprint to leave your mark the way God calls you to, you gotta forgive others and you gotta forgive yourself. We are the most critical when it comes to ourselves, but you can't bypass that. You gotta chip at it away. It don't happen overnight, but you gotta do it. You gotta put in the work. And you gotta create a safe space. So if that's hard for you, find a coach, find somebody you can trust, and vet them out, okay? And then 2 more, same thing, acquire appropriate support. not everybody is proper for you, for your unique situation, and it's okay to take the time to fill people out. And dream again. 3 seconds. You guys can do the exercise on the back while we get ready for lunch. If money wasn't a constraint, you have no other boundaries, no other cares in the world, what would you do and who would you be? And thank you guys, that's all I have for you today.